100.3 KZOZ FM San Luis Obispo rocks.
.603. Good morning and happy Thursday. Hi. How are you today?
Say you, say me.
He's saying it.
Say it for always.
He's saying "We Are the World."
What?
That
Why?
was awesome.
Why?
That was almost like the encore.
But how can he sing "We Are the World" if none of the people that are there, like singing "We Are the World" with him?
He had some other people singing.
Yeah, but they're not. They're it wasn't like Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson.
Cher.
Yeah, it's none of that. It's like some backup singers.
There were so many people there. I think George Michael was there. I mean, it was all back in the day. But wow, that came out of left field. That was pretty cool. I hadn't even thought about that song since I was a kid.
"We Are the World"?
Yeah.
Like, why? I just don't. I mean, that is a song that is not evergreen, okay? That is a song that really only pertains to the time. Like, what? Name me a radio station in the world that in 2017 is playing "We Are the World."
Well, I mean, there's a lot of those songs that he played last night that the radio stations probably aren't playing anymore. But it was something that meant a lot to him apparently, and he wanted to share it with everybody, and it was good. It was kind of fun.
Did he say that before he sang it? To give it a disclaimer? Because if I'm at that concert and he sings "We Are the World," I'm looking around, I'm like, what year are we in? What?
Everybody was into it.
What's going on?
He talked a little bit about his friend Michael Jackson, and then he went into "We Are the World." Maybe it was more of a tribute to him.
Do you think he did that in juxtaposition of the area because Michael Jackson lived?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Near here?
I don't know. I didn't read into it that much. I had a few ciders and Firestones, so I didn't.
Well, that's why
I didn't break it down.
That's why you're
like
all touched by "We Are the World."
It was awesome. It was fun to hear it, and so not that many people up there yesterday, which was maybe because it was Lionel Richie type show.
I'm telling you, you know what's going to happen with this fair is with this Garth Brooks thing. Everybody has forgotten about everybody else that's playing at the fair. Like all of a sudden,
wait, you're saying
Garth
nobody's
Brooks,
really going to go until that Thursday, a
Garth
week from
Brooks
today?
Became the hottest girl at the prom in a school with one hot girl because she's so hot. This lineup for the California Mid-State Fair is actually a very stout lineup. Last night, Lionel Richie, had Garth Brooks not came to the fair, I'm guessing that, a few extra people would have showed up to Lionel Richie at the fair, but they're now all in on Garth Brooks.
Well, I meant at the fairgrounds. I think there was a lot of people that were there. I mean, it was nowhere near a sellout or anything, but it was, it was pretty full on the floor and everything. But I'm just talking about walking around. I was expecting first day, a lot of people, and didn't see it. So
because everybody's going to go on their day, You go on the day that's most convenient to you. What day? Since when is a Wednesday the most convenient day to go to a fair? That's why I've never understood why the California Mid-State Fair opens on a Wednesday.
Maybe they were thinking the ramp up to the weekend.
Maybe they do. And they have a lot of acts that they have to fill in. Hell, one guy's playing twice in one night. I mean, they can't even fulfill. They have too much act and not enough night. Maybe they should have started it on Tuesday this year. I don't know. But it's not a convenient day to go to the fair. Like, I'm going to take my family to the fair on Saturday because that's a convenient day to take your family to the fair.
It'll be busy.
Yes, it is.
And
it's going to be super busy.
Yeah. It was not hot, but had a chance to try a lot of food.
At least I'm not taking them next Thursday. Next Thursday's the day I stay away from the fair with my family.
Deep fried Twinkie, yes. Deep fried Oreo, no.
You tried deep fried avocado.
I did not try the deep fried avocado.
That looks kind of tasty, to be honest.
Tried a corn dog. The sriracha corn on the cob, pretty good.
What about the chicken on a kebab that's rolled around in flaming hot Cheetos, then fried?
No, I didn't know that was there.
And it's served with a biscuit on top of it.
No, I'm going to have to try to find that.
Yeah, that sounds damn tasty.
Chicken kebab that is deep fried and the breading is the fire Cheetos?
Yes.
Okay.
So they bring it all together.
Right.
So not just a kebab.
But I had to do the corn dog.
You didn't do the donut.
I didn't do the hot dog on the stick either.
You didn't do the donut burger, did you?
No.
That thing looks disgusting.
No, but if
because
somebody
what they did with the donut burger is they put it between two donuts, instead of taking a donut and cutting it in half. So you've got mega donut and a little burger.
Yeah. Well, donuts squish down.
Yeah.
Those type of donuts are light.
Yeah, they do. They do squish down,
Yeah.
but is that...
I'll try it.
Do you really need that much? Isn't one donut enough? Can't you... If they go up, can you special order? My question
You're putting a burger in between two donuts. What do you mean, is anything enough? No, I mean, it's a donut burger.
I understand that, but I'm not going to try it because it's too much. I would try it if it was half that. If I could get all that on just one donut.
Well, you know those donuts, they're all air, like I said, in the middle. So I'm thinking they tried it with one, and they're like, this just isn't enough donut. We need more donut.
Mericuh.
Yeah, right? So, okay.
You know, that burger on a donut's pretty good, but you know what would make it better?
How pathetic can some people be?
I love this part of the country. I was driving through here one. I saw. I was listening to a Milwaukee Brewers game on the radio. Yeah, it was fun. Their radio announcers shamelessly sell Miller every game, don't they? Have you noticed that? It's like Smith looks to the plate with an icy stare, and that calls for an ice cold Miller. Pick up a Miller Lite Ice Dry Draft at your local supermarket. There's the pitch. That ball's cracked into center field. Crack open an ice cold Miller when you get a chance. He sure drove that ball, and if you're drinking and driving, might as well do it with a Frosty Miller between your legs. Frosty Miller gets it back in the saddle again, and he sure put a hurt on that ball, and if your balls hurt, soak them in a six-pack of long necks.
Dumbass of the day. 93.3 KZOZ.
Those old baseball announcers, that was really the first product placement that you would see.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And they were good at it. They were really good at it.
Because baseball lends to, because it's so boring to watch in person, that it lends to having to fill lots of time. So you might as well fill it with sponsorship time. Because, I mean, I don't know. Have you ever listened to like a very green baseball broadcast? Like maybe
Cal Poly?
Collegiate, yeah. Where, you know, the sponsorships aren't there.
And it's just nothing. It's just
you hear like people's conversations in the stands.
Yeah. It's like, Sally, did you guys have a good time at Chuck E. Cheese last night? Crack. It's like, dude, would somebody help? Get somebody in there with that guy, would you? I don't need to hear about Sally's kids' friends, Chuck E. Cheese.
Justin Jackson is a Florida con man. Now, he's got a history of celebrity-related scams, so you would think that celebrities would have him on a do-not-fly list or something along those lines, you know? Well, he tricked several NBA stars into giving him their sneakers. You know how he did it?
Yeah, how do you trick an NBA star into give you? Yeah, he
told them he was Adele's manager, and that he was collecting various athletes' shoes for a celebrity auction, and could give them Adele concert tickets in return for their shoes. So Paul George, Victor Oladipo, and Rip Hamilton were among the NBA players that fell for the scam. And he also tried to run that scam up the flagpole with Chris Brown and Katy Perry. He said that if they made a birthday video for a dear friend of his, not of Adele's, but of his, he could give them Adele concert tickets. Well, Chris Brown and Katy Perry probably could get Adele concert tickets without having to make a video for a dear friend. So that raised some red flags. They notified the authorities, and he was arrested in a sting operation after an officer posing as a production assistant to Kendrick Lamar told Jackson that he could get free tickets to see Kendrick Lamar. So he's like, I can get free tickets to see it. He's like, hey, Justin, are you Adele's manager? Yeah, I'm Adele's manager. How would you like some free tickets to Kendrick Lamar? Sign me up. Okay, meet me down at 7-Eleven. All right, I'll be there. And then, bam, cuffed.
Cuffed him up. He's going. Is he going to prison for this?
Yeah, he's been charged with felonies, including identity theft and conspiracy to defraud.
Wow. Just for, I mean, those guys don't pay for those shoes anyway.
Well, and it's not like, what you were getting, it was a huge value. You got used sneakers.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like LeBron James or.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like.
Yeah, Paul George, okay. Maybe his shoes are worth a little, but come on.
Yeah.
But if you're Paul George and word about this gets out, you're like, oh, man.
I got duped by this kid.
And now
Good. Lock him up.
Now
throw away the key.
It's making the news rolls. His buddies in the locker room be like, hey, Paul, guess what? Got some Adele tickets,
His sneakers are always missing. And there's just an envelope that says
Adele tickets.
Adele tickets. Yo, dog, I got a play tonight, man. What's up? Give me my sneaks back.
I don't know. Why don't you try to snap those tickets to your feet? So while Justin Jackson would be the logical dumbass of the day, no, we're going to give it to Paul George, Victor Olapino, and Rip Hamilton for falling for the scam in the first place. Congratulations, you're Jeff and Jeremy's
Dumbass of the day.
This little town out in the middle of the desert in Nevada.
Lovelock.
This is crazy with Lovelock. According to Wikipedia, it's got like 3,900 people that live there. Okay, so it's a pretty small town. And mainly it's a stopping point for people traveling on I-80.
Is I-80 a highway that runs north and south through Nevada?
It runs from San Francisco. I don't know where it ends up on the East Coast.
Oh, it runs east to west.
Yeah, but it runs through Reno and Winnemucca.
Okay.
And Lovelock, Nevada.
Winnemucca.
And
you ever been to Winnemucca?
I have been. I've been to Winnemucca with you.
We were in Winnemucca together?
Yes.
Oh, was it in the middle of the night when we were driving?
Once it was in the middle of the night. Once was in the hot of the desert day.
It was a good memory.
109 degrees.
That's a place I want to get
I was drunker than the skunk, too. You were driving.
See, I don't even know. I was delirious. Sober, but delirious.
They have 6 motels, okay? Not hotels, motels.
Right.
And those motels are packed because all the news vans that are there covering O.J. Simpson. And the weird thing about it is...
We're on O.J. watch. That's right. He's going to do this.
Today's the hearing, right?
This morning, I think it is.
Yeah. So today's the hearing, but then if he gets paroled, which everybody seems to think he's going to, October 1st is the release date. So when you're there and you got one of those... I don't know. What's a motel usually run at about 20 to 30 rooms tops?
Oh, sure, yeah.
So
well,
6,
yeah.
So if you got one of those 120 rooms, are you making your reservation for September 30th?
Oh, you better make it. I would make it right now. Oh, sure, we're going to need a credit card
Trivago
to hold your room. Oh, that's fine. But you should be able to cancel within 90 days.
Let's see.
Is it 90 days out?
Okay, I'm going to go to Trivago.
All of August, all of September. No, not really. Oh, you might lose that deposit, sir. Well, that's all right. Put me down. Maybe you bring an RV. I think I'd rather bring an RV. Can you rent an RV? Yeah, if I'm the news media, I'm going to go to my news director and go, hey, I need an RV. None of this crappy motel stuff.
The Royal Inn, the Lovelock Inn, or the Sea Punch Inn and Casino. Which one? Which one do you want to go? They're all ranging from anywhere from $60 to $81 a night.
You going to send me over there? I'll cover it.
The Royal Inn is the best. It gets good. It gets a 79 score on Trivago.
Okay, I like that. What about the Lovelock Inn?
The Lovelock Inn is the worst. It gets a 69, but it is 69.
I'll take it at 69. I'm in. It can't be bad. What is it a night?
Let's see. It's $60. That's the cheapest. Let's see what they're doing for. Maybe we should. You know how there are website squatters. Maybe we should be motel reservation squatters, and we
want to
start booking
buy up a hotel.
Start booking up hotel rooms.
Motel
rooms. Look at you could get There are rooms
Some
available.
To the media.
There are rooms available for Saturday night. Ooh, we could even go utilize this room because it's a weekend. Saturday night at the Royal Inn, the Sea Punch Inn and Casino, and the Lovelock Inn.
I want to go to the casino.
You want to go to the casino?
Yeah. I'm at the casino. I missed that. I don't know how I missed that.
Nice looking place, actually.
Yeah. See?
The Sea Punch Inn and Casino.
Yeah, because they're taking everybody's money.
I mean, you know what? The bed doesn't have that stale pattern. The comforter.
Oh yeah.
They've actually got linen duvet 90s. Covers.
Yeah. Okay. It doesn't look like 1982 in there.
They have a heart-shaped tub for us, Jeremy. So that will be good.
Oh, we're sharing a room now.
The heart-shaped tub, by the way, is right next to the It's in the actual bedroom part of the.
Oh, I love that. That's classy. That's high class stuff right there.
So you go bed, a little end table, and then heart-shaped tub.
Is there carpet down? So when you get out of that heart-shaped tub, you just soak the place. And then for the whole stay that you're there, the 2 days, you're just like, why is this floor so wet?
They've got a microwave and a refrigerator with a flat screen TV in the room.
That's all you need right there.
And we're only talking. It's only
your Hot Pockets.
It's only $80. It's only $80 a night, and it's 0.4 miles to the city center of Lovelock.
of 2,700 people.
Weirdly enough, every place is 0.4 miles to the city center, but we could get hotel rooms for $80, and then CNN comes calling. And they're like, "Oh man, we forgot to book our room for the
$8,000."
Yeah, we got a room for you. It's going to cost you though.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll provide turn down service. Which one of who you sending, by the way? Oh yeah, never mind.
If you were covering this story, would you want to be sent to Lovelock?
Yeah, I'm all over Lovelock. I love
I like road trips.
I like road trips. I like a new adventure.
I would think of most of the media, given the fact that there is more hotel rooms 90 miles away in Reno, Nevada, they're probably staying there and just driving the 90 miles. But still, what's your chances of ever saying you've got to know Lovelock, Nevada?
Now you can. And there'll be a lot of people there. You never know.
I kind of want to take a tourism trip there on September the 30th.
Yeah, you never know the people you're going to meet there. From all over the world, people will be there.
Can I take my wife and stay you? Because I'm in the heart-shaped tub,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you probably should take her. I don't know if you and I should be in a room together with a heart-shaped tub.
She's always talking about taking more vacations. This is the perfect vacation.
Keep it local. Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. 93.3 KZOZ rocks.
Some questions were answered yesterday with this news about Senator John McCain. Did you hear the news on him?
Yeah, sad.
Yeah, brain tumor. Apparently, he went in for some sort of surgery.
The first thing I thought of?
Eye, maybe, and then they saw something, and then they went back and they've removed it since. But it's a pretty aggressive cancer.
I want to say about 6 to 8 weeks ago, he was making some comments on the GOP healthcare plan. And the reporter was also asking about Russia and what he thought and all that stuff. And he kind of trailed off and got confused in the reporter's line of questioning. And you actually played the clip. And I remember at the time when you played the clip, I was like, oh gosh, this is sad. John McCain's getting up there in age.
Right. Yeah.
I wonder if there's a problem. And come to find out now that possibly this was
what was going on,
impeding his mental process.
Yeah, the whole James Comey investigation where they all sat down and asked him, and it's like he kept losing him, and he was just like, "What are you talking about?" And it was it's very sad, but he's a tough guy, right? If he could,
he was a prisoner of war,
he could live in a prisoner camp, of war camp, and maybe
when they say it's fairly aggressive, though, does that mean that they're like issuing timelines, or
they haven't said anything like that? They're just trying to figure out other treatment options. They're working with the Mayo Clinic, so I'm sure he'll get the best care.
I saw that if he didn't have health care, his surgery for his eye, now this was before getting a tumor, that the surgery for his eye would have cost him $110,000.
Yeah,
that's a steep. If
he was one of the million people that don't have health insurance,
but he has health
because
insurance.
Of the dilapidating Obamacare program.
He's fine though. He's covered.
Oh yeah, all those guys are fine. They're the ones that hold our health care in their hands, but theirs is just fine.
Theirs is great. It's one of the benefits. That's why you run for a job. That's why you spend billions of dollars to run for a job that pays you $80,000 a year, because the health care benefits are awesome.
They're good.
Seriously, though. Ow. Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. 93.3 KZOZ rocks.
Online, KZOZ.com. California Fresh poll question there. California Fresh Markets, 5 Cities Drive in Pismo Beach, as well as the Foothill Plaza in San Luis Obispo. On National Hot Dog Day, 50% of people said that they were going to have no hot dogs. And the other 50% said they were going to have somewhere between one or two. And I didn't have a hot dog. I had a corn dog. Does that count? It's a hot dog inside.
That counts as a hot dog. I mean, anybody says that a corn dog does not count as a hot dog, they're horrible. They're a horrible, horrible person if they're saying that, because it is a hot dog encased in probably the best bun.
Right. I agree. No, a corn dog, I will take it. Well, gosh, sometimes you get a really good bun. I love hot dogs.
Still,
I'm just a hot dog connoisseur.
I don't know what they do over at the Costco, but man, the buns that they give you and the way that they wrap it up, I try to mimic that at home. When I make the hot dog, I'll make the hot dog and I want that soft, almost doughy bun,
right?
That is wrapped up into, and I'll take a paper towel and I'll put the hot dog inside of a bun and I'll wrap it up and I'll put it in a microwave because that's what I've been told and that's how I've read on the internet.
Just the Costco over here, when you order the hot dog, is it already in the bun?
Yes.
See, I don't like that because then it's almost soggy.
No, that's what's awesome.
When I was at another Costco in Idaho, they have they pulled the hot dog out of the water and they put it in a fresh bun, and what a difference!
Well, that might be, hold on a second. That might be the case here, but I'll tell you this:
not in Santa Maria. I know for a fact in Santa Maria it was already put in the bun.
They wrap it up in the bun because you don't want to put it in the bun yourself, do you?
No, they put it in Idaho. They just put the hot dog on the bun and handed it to you in a little boat.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, no, this is...
Because I was eating it
See,
there.
I like it wrapped up in the tinfoil. I like the hot dog wrapped up in the tinfoil. I like it when you pull it apart to put your condiments on it.
Right.
There's a little bit of piece of bread sticking to the meat.
You like that?
Yes.
Why do you? No,
because
who
it's
likes
doughy.
that?
It's doughy. That's what's good about it. I don't like the
mass-produced,
the stale bun. I don't
not
like
fresh.
I don't like the bun that has had a ton of air exposure because once you give the air exposure to the bread, especially that grade of bread, that's when it starts.
You're
to
not
get
a fan
stale.
of the toasted hot dog bun, then?
No, I
love the toasted hot dog
toasted
bun.
is so horrible.
Oh, a little butter on there, and then you toast it.
The only thing that's toasted is the cheese sandwich. That's the only thing that should be toasted when it comes to a sandwich is a cheese sandwich, and maybe the panini. Okay, I'll give you that, but that's just a grilled cheese sandwich.
It's a fancy grilled cheese sandwich with a fancy name. I'll have a panini.
It's just on fancy bread.
What does that mean? It's got pesto. Oh, okay.
And maybe tuna fish on sourdough. That can be toasted. Anything outside of that, like... People eat toasted peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I don't understand that. I do not understand.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because everything gets hot and spills out.
I like peanut butter on my toast sometimes. And if I feel adventurous, I might throw a little jelly on there. But I'm not making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich unless it's on soft white bread.
With 2 pieces of toasted bread because it heats up everything in the middle and it
falls out.
It causes like a volcano effect. Yeah. It's like lava running out of there.
It's not good.
You don't want that.
But on the hot dog, really. See, hot dogs, hamburgers, I love the toasted bun. Mm-mm. Yeah. And then of course condiments. I'm a mustard guy. I'm not much of a ketchup guy, but I don't care if any whatever you want to do. But then what I love about Costco: sauerkraut, onions, relish, and mustard.
I'm not touching any of that stuff.
That's awesome
because it comes out of a crank.
Who cares?
I care. That's gross.
What's wrong with the crank?
I don't know.
They diced it up back in the back, and then they put it in there so you could.
I know, but people could be doing some kind of homeland terrorism stuff there.
I would much rather have the crank where it's all sealed up than just the tub out there with the little plastic spoon.
Did I ever tell you about the salt and vinegar experience, or I should say incident at Skipper's?
No.
Seafood chain?
I can't wait to hear this. Skipper's out of business, by the way?
A little bit. I actually,
you looked into it.
I actually looked into it last week when I was in Seattle. I'll tell you how it still kind of exists. But yeah, it's
we'll tell you what a Skipper's is.
It's a seafood chain, kind of like a Long John Silver's up in the Pacific Northwest. But ever since Skipper's, I've never trusted condiments. And this happened to me when I was I think I was in 5th grade.
Hashtag the Skipper's incident.
This is the salt and vinegar incident.
Fish and chips.
Yeah.
Fish and chips. Make me want to lick my lips.
Yes, they do.
Eat them for breakfast, lunch, and tea. Fish and chips are for me.
I was craving fish and chips the other day. And I was like, where am I going to go? I got to go. And you know who has pretty good fish and chips? Custom House. They do it tempura style. And they had a little clam chowder. And they have the big steak fries, which I like. Actually, they're not quite a steak fry.
Surprised there's not as many fish and chips options. I mean,
Morro Bay.
Well, Morro Bay, but it's all concentrated in one area.
Yeah,
14 miles away from where I live.
I don't want to drive to Morro Bay. There's probably other places that have good fish and chips. But
I heard that the Larry Lee, who's a Central Coast native and one of the best
icon
30 athletes on the Central Coast of all time, according to the slow
business speaks.org. I don't know.
Slow speaker series or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something like that.
The same people that
according to
Ron Capps
Dr. Don Morris,
that Ron Capps is one of the best athletes to hail from the Central Coast. Anyways, He says that San Luis barbecue and fish is a good fish and chips.
Oh, that's a fish and chips place.
Yeah.
You know
It's
what?
just
I
a
pass
block-
that place on Monterey, not Marsh, all the time.
2 blocks away from my house.
And I've always wanted to go in there, and I've never have.
I can't see that. My problem is I can never convince my wife to go all in on the place.
What's wrong with the place?
The aesthetics is,
It's not
is
really
what
in
she says.
Yeah, it's not really in a downtown. It's just kind of, I don't even know what's over there. There's other stuff over there.
This is why I will not get the condiments at Costco, okay? Because they put them, it's like a bin, right? Like a trough. It's like something that looks like they would use to feed farm animals.
Well, it's a I don't know how you say that. It's a container that's
It's a big bucket.
It's above the counter.
Yeah.
And it has a crank on it.
And you crank it out for the bottom, but then you have
Right.
to put stuff in the top. But you can access the top, right? Is there a lock on the top?
Yeah, I've never investigated it. I've never let me get my hand in here. I just
So people could
maybe.
tamper with it,
But
right?
they have to get them in there somehow. There's probably not a lock.
Like my wife has a thing, you know, that little straw thing where you push down the straw. You push down the little thing that the straw comes out on.
Oh, yeah.
She'll never take the first straw. She'll always throw the first straw away and only take the second straw.
Really?
Same thing with lids for sodas. She'll never take the top lid for the soda.
I don't either. I go to the middle.
Yeah, she'll go right to the middle because if you go for the top. But then
Everybody's had their hands on the top
But doesn't
one.
that now tell you that if you do it, my wife does it,
Yeah, I
and
thought I was
do
the
it,
only one. I guess the middle's the grossest part. Everybody's had their fingers all over the middle.
You're safest when you're on top.
I'm going to go to the bottom 2/3. That's what I'm going to do.
Zach Potter was a friend of mine when I was growing up, and he was a practical joker. And his parents decided to take us to the Burien, Washington Skippers. And by the way, Skippers is sort of out of business. They have moved to the convenience store model, so you can get Skippers fish and chips at select area Shell stations in the Puget Sound area.
I remember about fishing. About Skippers. Stupid.
So it's not the Skippers that you remember.
I remember this was great. It was a fast food place that only, you talk about In-N-Out, they only do burgers and fries, and they only do it one way pretty much. But this was even more simple. It was fish, it was chips,
And their clam chowder was pretty bomb, too.
and then clam chowder. And I think you might have been able to get like some deep fried shrimp.
Clam and shrimp. Yes.
Yeah, or clam strips. eventually.
But it was all deep fried seafood.
When we were kids, I think it was just fish and chips. You would go in there and you'd either get a 2-piece fish or a 3-piece fish,
the
or you would
all-you-can-eat.
do the all-you-can-eat,
And
which came with chowder.
Whenever I asked my dad for the all you can eat, he'd get mad at me because I would only eat like a piece and a half.
Oh, yeah.
Of fish.
I got to have the all-you-can-eat like Grandpa. I used to go with my grandma and grandpa. They're like, all right, they'd get it for me anyways.
But Dad's like,
never
you're
finished
not
it.
getting the all you can eat. I'm like, oh, but Dad, come on, I'm so hungry. Let me get the all you can eat. And he'd be like, fine, eat all you can eat. And then I'd eat a piece and a half. He's like, why'd you get the all you can eat when you could have got a 2-piece fish?
But then you would go over there and they had the pump things. And it was kind of like what Costco has. Instead of a crank, it was a big container and you push down on the pump and that's how you get your tartar and
there
your,
were more
your ketchup.
obstacles. It wasn't at eye level. The thing with the Costco condiments is that they're at eye level. And a young Zach Potter would figure out a way to tamper with that.
What did Zach do at Skippers?
The pump thing has that lid on it, and you got to take it out, and it's got a pump inside of it. And then you're going to look, you can't do it conspicuously. Not that you could do it at Costco all that conspicuously, but if it's slow, you could. We went to the Burien Skippers for the all-you-can-eat fish and chips.
Best Skippers in Burien.
Yes, it was the best Skippers in Burien. And he thought it would be a fun idea to take the lid on the malt vinegar, which people like
then screw
vinegar on their fish and chips.
Ass.
Just not that much.
Yeah, not soup. not malted vinegar soup. Fish soup.
And he, when his parents were up getting the sodas, he went to the table next door to us that was unoccupied at the time and loosened up the malt vinegar lid and put it on the top. Well, the malt vinegar has this little spigot on it. So when you poured it, it would do like a measured pour of malt vinegar so you didn't get too much malt vinegar when you poured it on your fish. Well, if that lid was loose, it would just dump out all over your fish. Not 30 seconds after everybody sits down.
Way worse than salt, because at least salt is contained. You know what I mean? Or pepper, you could brush it
pick
off.
around it.
This is going to be a mess.
As soon as the guy sits, there's a wife and a husband. They sit down. They're probably in their 40s.
Oh my God! This would be me. This would be me and my wife currently. I would look over at these kids and go,
We're sitting there, and we're cracking up laughing. We're like, I'm looking at Zach. I go, there's no way he's going to go because malt vinegar's not for everybody. Okay, like probably like 10% of the customers at Skipper's get the malt.
but
vinegar.
their malt vinegar on their fish was
It was
awesome.
pretty good. It was pretty good. Just not a whole bottle of it good. And this guy goes and dumps it out, and the lid falls off right into his fries, and then it dumps it all over. And Zach and I start cracking up laughing. I mean,
great.
like
Just
laughing.
Totally, you might as well just put the spotlight on it. Yep, that was
belief. Us. And to this day, we have held true to the fact that we did not know to his dad because his dad pulled us out of there immediately. Mike Potter pulled us out and goes, "Did you guys do that to that guy's malt vinegar?" And we're like, no, we didn't do that. No, we just thought it was funny that happened to him. And we had to stick to our story.
Yeah.
I remember after his dad laid into us, Zach looked at me and said, "Do not tell my dad ever about this, ever." So hopefully Mike Potter doesn't listen to the podcast available on Apple podcast.
I'm going to cut this segment out today. I'm going to find old Mike Potter, and I'm going to send it to him.
It was terrible. It's like one of those things that was funny that you did as a kid, and you look back on it, and you know at some point in your life, karma's going to come back to me. But to
There's
this
things
day,
I did like that as a kid that I feel bad about.
but that
I
was
like to talk about it.
That was a teachable moment, okay? Because it taught me
To always check the lid.
never trust condiments.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. 93.3 KZOZ rocks.
Jeff Stuhlberg just walked in. How you doing?
Good morning.
Good to see you
You
here.
made me hungry talking about Skippers.
Oh, man. I miss
So you went to
Skippers.
college in the Pacific Northwest. You went to the University of Oregon.
Right, undergrad, and I went there undergrad from 75 to 79, and then law school from 82 to 85, and Skippers was a part of my life.
Yeah, that was the heyday of, and this was like the Long John Silver's of the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, it was better.
Yeah, it was better. I mean, it was really good.
I think so, too. And I don't know.
I'm surprised
I've only been to Long John's once, but
that
it was okay.
That they did not. That they went the opposite direction. I'm surprised they declined instead of thrived.
Yeah, there still is a few Skippers locations, but I'm seeing this on-the-go thing that you're talking about, or the
Skippers
grab
on the
and go. Skippers Go Fleet is what they're calling it. And they're literally in like gas stations
Every
and
gas
convenience
station.
stores.
Yeah.
And in California, you can find them at the Renner Patriot, which is a gas station in Crescent City.
Oh, really?
You're
Okay.
the traveler. I don't know where Crescent City is.
Well, Jeff knows because he has had to do some law up there. It's the northernmost city on the coast.
Oh, okay.
In the state of
For
California.
Pelican Bay Federal Prison.
All right, so that's a good. What is that? 9 hours from here?
Is that the California?
If we're going to drive.
Is that
8
the
hours?
California equivalent to Lovelock?
I don't know, but it's a long drive. I did the driving one day through the Redwoods with the kids on the way back from trip back in June, and it's a long way from Crescent City to.
I actually took vacation advice from you because you said you did that, and we had planned to do that, but I was of the school of thinking that it was going to be way too long of a trip to do that. And
you
then
got to do 2 days.
once you confirmed it, I was like, I had ammunition with my wife. I was like, listen, Jeff, Jeff from work, he said, no, do not do that. Not unless you have the expendable days.
Well, you had Oliver, with you, and I had, when we were coming back, I had a pair of twins that wanted to get back to their friends and 2 Labradors.
You're such an old soul.
The thought of that extra day in the car wasn't.
Jeff, you travel like it's the 80s, man. I mean, it's all loaded up in the car and go. I mean, I think most people usually get on an airplane to go on vacation. Now, Jeff's all about road trips.
No, when you have kids, it's expensive to fly these kids multiple destinations. So if you have a couple weeks in the summertime, it's better just to get in a car and
Yeah,
drive.
but you love driving. You love road tripping. Like, we were going to fly up to do a fishing trip once in Idaho. He's like, let's drive. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
And I thought I was like, I didn't really take it serious until like the day before or the week before. I'm like, well, I guess we're driving because we didn't book an airplane. He goes, oh, yeah, we're driving. What are you talking about? I'll drive first.
Left San Luis Obispo at 2:00 in the afternoon. Got to Lewiston, Idaho at 7:00 in the morning. We did it.
Yeah.
Didn't we do it?
Yeah, we were jacked up on some caffeine at 7:00 in the morning.
I remember
driving through the middle of Idaho, which is like a mountain road. It's all swirly.
It's funny, we were talking about Lovelock. Just a little bit east of Lovelock is Winnemucca, and that's where you make the turn to go up towards Boise Town. But between Winnemucca and Boise, there's this highway, and we happened to be on it in the middle of the night. And it was Jeremy's turn to drive, and I was going to rest a little bit in the passenger seat. But I couldn't rest because alongside of you, all you see are like herds of jackrabbits running alongside of your car.
Like if they stood up on their hind legs, they would be 3-4 feet tall. Like they were huge.
Yeah, and they were big. They're like little capybaras, about the size of a capybara. And I couldn't sleep because he was driving my car. I couldn't sleep because I was afraid he was going to obliterate one of these things, because all you would see were dead carcasses of like trucks that had gone by and hitting these jackrabbits on the highway.
Blood stains
everywhere.
And I'm driving this little, and we're in a convertible with the top down, and I'm just going, man, I'm going to get pissed. This is going to look like a bad war movie.
You're going to have rabbits hitting the windshield.
Right. But we made it through it. So,
and there were no skippers on the way.
Lovelace? No, not Lovelace. That's Linda. Lovelock, Nevada. Ever been there, Jeff?
No, I haven't.
Okay, it's about a town of 2,700 people that live there. We found out there's 3 motels. That's it. One of them's a casino.
No, there's 6, but 3.
Oh, there's 6.
3 are only coming up on Trivago.
Right,
for whatever.
a casino, 2 hotels, and a brothel.
Right, pretty much, right. So this is where the OJ parole hearing is going to take place at like 10 o'clock this morning, right when we get off the air. And everybody's streaming it live. All the news media is going to be there. And, they'll find out if he's going to get paroled or not. I think he's been in prison for about 9 years for his conviction on, holding somebody hostage.
Right. It was an armed invasion robbery with a couple of other gentlemen where he was trying to reclaim some sports memorabilia that he claimed was rightfully
What happened to the other guys in that case?
They got prison sentences too, but OJ didn't actually have the gun in his hand, so he got a different sentence.
But didn't he get like 33 years or something like that?
This is why he's up for parole. The sentence was I can't remember, it was either 8 or 9 to 33. So it's a range. And those are generally served at halftime. So but in a case like that doesn't mean that you're going to get out in half of that. You'd have to do the minimum, and then you're eligible for parole. So in this particular case, at least I was surprised. Actually, I was thinking, Nevada, they've been they sentenced him in that case,
chomping at the bit.
They were thinking we're getting him for LA too.
Yeah.
But from what I've heard, they are actually doing what they're supposed to do when you evaluate a prisoner for parole, and that is evaluate the extent to which they've performed well in prison, worked and played well with others, as well as that happens in a prison setting, programmed towards having a better situation if they get outside. And they say that he's like the peacemaker there, and
I've heard he's helped out a lot of like there would be cases in which some prisoners were going to get into a scuffle or start a fight, and he has actually stepped in and said,
I've heard their word model prisoner.
I'm the juice. Stop it.
But he's smart enough to be a model prisoner because he knows I don't want to be there and I want to get the heck out of there.
Right, sure.
And so it's sort of an interesting situation. By the way, I'm not an OJ fan, but when you look at somebody who has done what they're supposed to do to be eligible for an early parole, he's done it all. And apparently somehow he co-opted the victim to agree to come into the parole hearing and say that
I heard about that.
He was okay with OJ being released. That does not happen very often.
So I
Usually
guess
crime victims show up at parole hearings to say, lock him up. That's why the Manson people never get out.
One of the 2 guys died, but the other guy that's still alive that he, assaulted and, was the victim, he apologized, and they've become, I don't know about friends, but the guy's going to show up and testify for him today.
What's the craziest, worst place that you've ever had to go to be a part of a trial and spend time? I mean, there are people that are in the media that are getting called out to Lovelock. I mean, I'm sure that, as a lawyer, and a lawyer in one of the biggest, most expansive states in the union, you could go be called anywhere in the state and have to do some representation.
I've done trials in some remote places. I did a trial about 4 or 5 years ago in Wairika, which is the last town before you go over the Oregon border.
Right. I remember that.
Siskiyou.
Right.
Siskiyou country.
Right. Well, it's actually Siskiyou. Siskiyou County on our side, Jefferson County on the other. It's in the state of Jefferson.
There's a big barn there that says
big barn there.
Welcome to the state of
Jefferson. You get people up there that really believe they're in another state, and then which makes for some interesting jurors too, by the way, because you get 2/3 of the people on there don't like the government, which, by the way, if you're a criminal defense attorney, is not a bad place to be.
Right.
And then I did one in Weed.
Oh, okay.
I did a weed case in weed.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Oh, it was a weed case
A
too.
weed case in weed. Yeah, it was somebody from San Luis Obispo County that got caught in weed with some weed, and
They don't tolerate the weed in weed, huh? Or they didn't at the time.
Well, they didn't at the time. Let's say it was a different time. This was like 11, 12 years ago. And then, about Susanville, California,
Jeff knows that.
Out off the Truckee, out there on your way towards the back way into Tahoe.
That is a barren wasteland.
Yeah, some pretty remote places, but I have to tell you, the worst place.
Where do you
stay? Like, is it
local
the motel?
Yeah,
whatever.
The Bates Inn.
Yeah, the Bates. Yeah.
You sleep with one eye open.
You turn on the water; it's a little weird color. And
It's
then
like my cousin Vinny.
Yeah,
pipes are humming.
you go into the bar and there's a guy playing the banjo.
Yeah, I love that. Jeff Stuhlberg is
You
here.
love that because you're not a part of it. If you're a part of it, you wouldn't love it.
544-7693 is how you contact him. He is a personal injury lawyer. If you get into trouble, he can help get you out. He does criminal defense, general business law. And if someone has done you wrong and you want to sue them, he's a civil litigation attorney. He'll take care of you. StuhlbergLaw.com is the website.
There's 10 days left of the California Mid-State Fair.
You know what I saw yesterday?
10 days to get in trouble.
Now, there's probably the highest concentration of law enforcement in the entire county during the entire year is from the day before the fair to the day after the fair in metropolitan Paso Robles.
Yeah, so you watch out. They're looking for you. And they were booting people out for smoking. Remember, they got that new rule.
Yeah.
Can't smoke cigarettes on the grounds. I saw people hiding in porta potties, smoke coming out of porta potties. It's like, it's almost like, you used to go in there, the guys used to go in there, maybe smoke a little pot or something.
Yeah.
Now people are smoking cigarettes in there because they don't want to get kicked out. Jeff Stuhlberg is he's our attorney friend. StuhlbergLaw.com is his website. He's a personal injury attorney. He's also an attorney that handles things for people when they get into a little bit of trouble with the law. And
small correction, I'm not just a personal injury attorney, I'm a great personal injury if you really want a good job
and he's got a great personality in his personal injury attorneying. I was at the fair yesterday. I'm going to go back today. It's Zach Brown Band tonight. Lionel Richie last night. Kind of watching the crowd. They've changed the fair a little bit. I think they made some good in the midway there. They've changed it up a little bit so you get through there a little bit easier. But I actually saw somebody get kicked out for smoking, and this is the first year they said no smoking. And I wouldn't say
I was wondering how they were going to police that, but
I'm not going to
kicking out.
No,
people?
well, they're asking them to step outside the gate, have your cigarette, and then come back in. So I guess I shouldn't use the word kick out because they're not like telling them they can't come back. They're just and I don't know how it's going to be everywhere in the fair, but where I happen to be at over in Mission Square, I saw that happen.
And there's a gate right by
and
there.
then you go out front, outside, and you can't smoke 20 feet from the entrance or exit either.
Right, sure. So I guess you could get your hand stamped, go out, have a cigarette, and then at the proper location, and then come back in.
How much motivation do you need just to quit smoking if that's the case? I mean, not do it. Like on airplanes, they don't allow you to smoke. So if you have like a 4-hour flight, then you're screwed if you're a smoker. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Any tobacco products, Jeff, even you chewers out there, you can't chew on a plane anymore. I don't know how they bust you on that, but they say no.
Well, they see you
smokeless
spitting into
tobacco.
a cup, it's probably a dead giveaway.
Yeah, right.
But there's other things that you can get in trouble for at the fair. I always know that at the end of the fair, there's always that story that runs in the news about places that served minors at the fair, because minors they hang out at the fair. I mean, that's a thing for them to do, and minors are going to try to want to buy alcohol because it's taboo. That's what happens, and minors can get busted at the fair. You said earlier that the highest concentration of law enforcement the entire year is in Paso Robles.
Yeah, at the fair, absolutely. You've got because they rent law enforcement from other jurisdictions. You get law enforcement that comes down from King City. They get CHP from different areas outside San Luis Obispo County. They come in and work the fair, and then you have all of our usual cornucopia of law enforcement too. There, you got Paso Robles Police. You've got the San Luis Obispo County Sheriff's Department. You've got the CHP. So there's a lot there, and it's all concentrated. Not just they've got great security inside the fair, but in that area immediately around it where everybody's parking. So here's Jeff's survival tips if you're going to the fair, especially if you're going to go to a concert and you might have a drink or something like that.
Yeah, who does that?
Number one, make sure you bring a car that does not have any vehicle code violations.
Okay.
No taillights out, no dangly things from the rear view mirror, and certainly not a car that does not have expired tags on it. Because they're actually, at the fair, they're looking for pretext reasons to screen people for alcohol. They can't really put checkpoints there because it would make the traffic thing. So what happens is you have these officers, whether they're sheriff's deputies or CHP officers, are out there directing traffic. They see somebody driving by that's got a taillight out or something like that. They'll walk over to them and tell them to pull over. And then some other officer will come up, and next thing you know, they're in a DUI investigation. And, they know that a good number of the people that come out of the fair have either been at the wine booth or the beer booth. And so it's a pretext issue. And the other thing is, if you've had a couple of drinks, when you're walking back to your car, make sure that you're quiet about it and that you don't attract any attention. The disorderly conduct or public intoxication is basically, most of those arrests are from people that are loud or being louder and boisterous and call attention to themselves.
Right. Everybody metabolizes, handles alcohol a little bit different. Some people like to be a jackass and yell and scream. Other people can be quiet. And the ones that stick out like a sore thumb are the ones they're going to come over to, and you may get a public intoxication ticket.
Right. If you've got somebody with you that's obviously had way too much to drink, don't wait till they're falling down. Take them out to the car and get them someplace safe.
Well, and even
get them home.
Even if you are, like, say, a designated driver and you have had nothing to drink and you have one of these people with you, make sure that you get your people in check too, because like you said, they'll pull you over and you're part of
because you got a jerk in the front seat screaming out the window.
Yeah, and they'll pull you over and you're part of an investigation, but that's going to ruin your night because if nothing else, it's going to take away from your time for the evening, and it's going to open you up to anything else. If there's anything else wrong with your vehicle, you're going to be under magnifying glass at that point.
Well, if you took all the arrests made at the fair, they would fall into 4 or 5 categories, and it would equal almost 100%. One would be public intoxication. Number 2 would be under the influence of a controlled substance. Number 3, which is like public intoxication, but something other than alcohol. Mm-hmm. The other one would be DUI. Mm-hmm. And then disorderly conduct, such as fighting or something like that. And I would say if you took everybody that gets all the way in the paddy wagon from there or thereabouts, that would be almost everything.
So be careful at the California Mid-State Fair this year.
Avoid those 4 things, and you're going to have a great time.
Yeah. It's a matter of planning ahead and designating somebody that's going to drive.
Or do the Uber thing.
If you're going to a concert, say one person that's going to make sure everybody gets home safe.
But the problem with the Uber thing is, especially on some of these busy nights, you get those surcharges, and it's just, that you may, just
Well, there's
think
other
ahead.
options, too. There's those shuttles that they're running from South County to North County. Those are like $25 a pop. You jump on the bus with a bunch of other strangers, and you are riding up there, and you're riding back. I mean, you could do that. There's shuttles from within the Paso Robles area that they're going to be accessing. So there are other ways to go about it. It's probably not going to take you right to your door, but you can get
an Uber from there.
Accommodations beyond
or whatever you're going to do.
Right. My other recommendation would be don't tailgate at your car before the event, because if a police officer sees you drinking at your car, there'll probably be somebody near there after the concert.
They'll make mental note. I mean, these guys, it's not like they're working the cashier stand at the local convenience store. I mean, there's a methodology to what they do as law enforcement. They're not dummies, okay?
If you find yourself in a little bit of trouble, though, you give Jeff a call, 544-7693. He'll tell you if he can help you or not. And check him out online, StuhlbergLaw.com.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
Are you ready for something light, refreshing, and something that was created for the laid-back California lifestyle? Then you need to crack into Firestone 805. They were very nice yesterday. You can find them all over the fairgrounds, which is very nice. We've got Nancy on the line. What's up, Nancy?
So I tried to call you guys yesterday because it was my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. So I went to Sylvester's for a free hamburger last night.
Yeah.
I know that's kind of cheesy. And I had an 805 with my free hamburger. So that's how I
good.
did last night.
That's good.
That's a good way to prep.
It's only cheesy if you got cheese on the hamburger.
Oh, my God, it was so good.
You did get cheese on the hamburger, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, then it is cheese.
It's my birthday.
But that's fine.
Yeah.
Did you hit the Denny's afterwards?
No, that's kind of gross.
Yeah.
Denny's?
Yeah. What I used to do when it was my birthday, like when I was like 18 and 19.
Because they get free dessert.
And I grew up by an airport.
Yeah.
There was like 4 Denny's. So we would go there for breakfast. Then we would go there for lunch. But I would go to a different Denny's because you couldn't go to the same Denny's in the same day, but you could go to a different Denny's.
Right.
So all my meals were taken care of at Denny's on my birthday. That's how I properly chilled circa 1994.
What I love about the 805 too is it's a great beer with burgers or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
It's you're not going to get too much of this or that, but it's got the flavor. But I was drinking it last night at the fair too because it's thirst quenching.
It's good hot weather beer.
Yeah.
It's not mediocre hot weather beer like some other main distributed beers that some people like to mispronounce with a little bit too much R and a little less O. It is a quality beer.
All right. Well, hey, listen to this. We got some Firestone 805 gear for you. So if that's your beer, now you can get yourself an 805 T-shirt or something like that. So we're going to put that little grab bag together for you, and we're going to put your name in the hat for the grand prize drawing, which we're doing here in, less than 2 weeks. So,
Great.
All right. Hold on the line. We're not only giving away $200 to the brewery that you can buy more cool, gear or beer with or food at the tap room, but a VIP tour for 4. Drove by that place yesterday. They've got it all tightened up. They got a lot of steam coming out of there.
Yeah. It's a campus now.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the steam,
It's
though.
not a brewery anymore. It's just a campus.
You want to find out more about Firestone 805? Go to 805beer.com.
Last night I was watching KSBY and I saw a commercial. I was like, wait a minute, I know that guy. And Doug from the JD Project pops up on my television screen. He's
What'd
like,
you do? Did you get arrested?
Not yet.
That's usually the
What
case.
are you doing on the news,
That's
man?
usually the case when I see somebody I know on TV.
Right.
Yeah. I always like, my favorite game is whenever they show the mugshot of somebody that has committed a crime.
Right, yeah.
To look at the prize sheet at KZOZ to see if there are any of our winners, because those tend to be the people that listen the most. And I always wipe my brow and go, whew, when it's not, because I expect to see those people showing up on the mug sheet, but not the case with you. You're going to be on TV tonight, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm going to be on Jeopardy.
Uh-huh.
And I filmed it back in April, and then it's on tonight.
So you obviously lost because you're not still on the
Wait,
show.
I can't say that.
Well, no, because he filmed it back in April.
Right.
I mean, he could have had a very
that's
good
true. Yeah,
long run.
that's very true.
They
Yeah,
actually-
I
See, you're just a negative guy.
No, I didn't mean it that way.
I mean,
just
I
meant
look
like
at it as here he is on July the 20th sitting with us. He could have
Right.
had like a Ken Jennings type run.
Right, they actually film 5 episodes a day,
Oh, they do.
and they do 2 weeks per week, so they only film 2 days a week, and they film 5 episodes per day. So
I mean, Trebek only has to work 2 days a week. That arrogant schmuck.
So they do a week a day. Then. They do a week in a day.
yeah,
If they do 5
shows,
episodes.
Yeah, and they only film like
That's why he's always so surly on Fridays. I was always wondering why he's so surly on Friday.
it's the end of the day basically.
Was there any French-speaking categories on your episode?
Actually, I had one response that was a French last name, so I specifically pronounced it.
You have to with him. You have to with him.
And did you get any kind of response out of him? No.
Did he come over and give you like a pat on the back or nothing? Nothing, huh?
No.
It was just expected that you have to do it correctly in
I don't
Trebek's
even
presence.
know if he caught it. I don't know. I mean,
He probably was a little bit mad because he likes to correct people when they mispronounce the French pronunciation.
Right.
Now, something they can't edit out of Jeopardy is right when they come back from the first commercial break and they go over and they meet the contestants. And obviously, you've sat down with some producers and, he's got it all written down. What I would love to see somebody do is just completely, just tell him something. And then when he comes up and he goes, oh, so you're a software engineer from da-da-da-da. Like, nope, that's not me.
well, actually, so when you go to the thing, they tell you he has a list. They highlight one, but he has a list of 3, and he can pick one. But I don't know if this has ever happened, but they have like a kind of ripcord you can pull. They supposedly if he could mess up and ask you the wrong questions about somebody else, maybe.
Right.
So he'll say, "Oh, so Doug, I hear you're from Seattle." And their instructions are, you just say, "That's right, Alex," and then they know to move on. Yeah. So I don't know if that's ever happened, but that's what they say. If he asks you something that is not about you, just say, "That's right, Alex."
Oh, okay. So the guy does screw up. See?
They're recording it. Why wouldn't you say, no, that's not it, and then you go back and then redo it?
And they probably could, yeah. But like he'll read the clues, and then in between the breaks when it would go to commercial, he'll I don't know if I'm supposed to say any of this, but he'll actually overdub some of it, like if he popped his pee too hard or he stumbled on something.
They'll have him read the question again.
But that's kind of cool because it's kind
Or
of
the
like it's
answer, I should
live,
say.
Right.
when you're doing it. So,
Right.
so in taping one episode, how long does that take, the process? It's 30 minutes on TV when we watch it and we consume it. Is it much more than that?
It's close to the same. It's actually, if anything, it's probably less.
Really?
It went so
It is
fast.
it is such a finely tuned machine that, that
Well, because you're not sitting there through the commercial break.
Right.
You're just doing
Gotcha.
Well, you actually, and I don't know why they do, but they do the commercial break. Like you do. But then that's when they talk about, oh, hey, we need to redo this one. Or so it might extend a little bit. Like on mine, there was a question that there was some debate over whether it was correct or not.
on one that you answered?
Happened to be
I
mine.
can't wait to watch tonight. You do a French pronunciation and there's conflict. I love it.
Well, you don't see the conflict, so it was like in between that he goes over and talks to the judges, and the judges wanted to go one way and he wanted to go another way, and he was pretty adamant. And they went with him, and then he came over and talked to me. I'm like, hey, I'm not arguing anything.
Really? He has say?
I guess, yeah.
Dude, he's Alex Trebek. I want to hear more about how much he screws
He's like
up.
the general manager, coach of the whole franchise, player.
He's what is he? General manager and president of Jeopardy operations.
Yeah. It's like he's got too much
He's
say.
Phil Jackson.
I thought he was just up there reading.
What about these clickers?
Don't ask me about that.
Okay, so
I had a hard time with the clicker.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
everybody seems to be there shaking it.
have you
They're
seen
like, I'm
have you
trying
seen a
to read in.
video of your performance yet, or is tonight the first time you're going to see it?
Tonight? Yeah.
So do you think that you were one of these people when you were on Jeopardy that was holding the clicker up in the air, clicking shaking it back and forth,
Right.
saying,
And
"Look,
looking at him like, hey, no.
yeah, how
No.
come I'm not getting this?
Yeah. No, I had a few goals when I went on Jeopardy. Well, first was to get on Jeopardy. Then it was, my name's Doug, D-O-U-G, but sometimes when I write it, like on my order form at the deli or whatever, it looks like D-O-N-G. So I've had that name pronounced. And so that was my first goal, was not to have it look like D-O-N-G.
That's a very good goal.
Come on, when somebody says there's being an ass because nobody's name is Dong, okay? Hey, Dong.
16 candles.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's okay. The one guy.
The donger needs food.
No more. Yeah. But there was that, and then I wanted to, it was that, so the writing part, and then I'm completely illegible, my writing.
Oh,
and
really?
normally my writing's okay, but that pad thing that they have there, it's perfectly flat. It's not angled at all. And then it's like you're writing with like a supersized Sharpie.
Right, okay.
was-
So that's
so
why
you think in Final Jeopardy your answer was a little illegible?
I think it probably looks horrible, and that's
Yeah.
what I'm. So not to give it away, but I do make it to Final Jeopardy. That was another goal, was to make it to Final Jeopardy.
I mean, everybody.
Well, some people
I
don't,
know.
but-
Sometimes you watch an episode, there's like you'll tune in late, and you're like, "Why is there only 2 people here? What's going on here?" With the
We had to
Final
shoot
Jeopardy?
one of them. He was so bad. Yeah.
Can't get off this French pronunciation thing because it's the biggest thing about Jeopardy that drives me nuts, and it's Alex Trebek.
Les Miserables. Ballet Miserables. Joan of Arc became the maid of this city when she led French troops to victory there in May of 1429. Chuck.
What is Orleans?
Yes, Orleans.
Orleans. You know how
I will correct you on
correct?
pronunciation.
So you made sure you got it right.
Yeah. So mine was it referred to the founder of WikiLeaks. So I said, "Who is Assange?"
Okay. So there wasn't like a French category.
No,
because when
no.
it's a French category, that's when like Alex Trebek shines. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna correct everybody's pronunciation on this. I'm French Canadian."
Yeah.
So what's he like? Do you have access to him at all during the
Not
taping?
really. He's pretty aloof.
But he just disappears and then he comes out.
So you've got, like, if you're looking at the stage where the clues are, and then he's
Right.
kind of in the middle. The contestants are on the right. Well, the contestants go out kind of back and to the right of where they are. You're kind of behind the stands is where your
I see.
green room
And
is.
he's on the other
and
side.
He's right behind, like, where his podium is. So he just kind of walks out, Elvis, and he's just over
I
there.
don't really think of him as Elvis, but
He's just
He's
over
the
I
French
understand what
Elvis.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Elvis. So he walks out and everybody claps, and then he answers questions in between stuff. And the poor guy, I mean, I'm sure he gets the same questions like every time they film. So it's always about like, how do you feel about Will Ferrell,
Right.
and Sean Connery and all that stuff, and He talked a lot about wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I know he used to own a place in Templeton, right?
Yeah,
he had a place out by Poso too, a winery.
Yeah. There was it's a horse ranch or something like that. It was his old estate, and it's not anymore. But
but he talked about how he has this magical fridge at home, and he goes home from a long day of filming, and there's a bottle of Chardonnay in the fridge, and he'll take it out and he'll drink it, and then.
Is it a French Chardonnay?
Probably. It's Chardonnay.
I drink some Chardonnay.
And then he comes home the next day, and there's a new one in there. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a magic fridge, or you have a...
Really?
Yeah.
So
You
he's
have
got
service.
His people are keeping his fridge stocked.
But that tells me he drinks a bottle of wine a day.
I know.
Is this the kind of guy that would come over and just, and meet the contestants but off camera and just say hi and shake your hand, or is he a little self-entitled and just...
At the end, when they... when they show, they'll kind of zoom out, and it's him in the front of everybody out in front and middle.
He's talking to the three of you,
And they're actually, and you are talking. Yeah.
What is he? Okay, so can you say now, before it airs, what you guys actually talked about?
Well, when he comes over, but after the first commercial break, we talk about how I met my wife, because he said, I told them how I met my wife through playing music. And so actually, if she's listening right now, she's going to be mortified. But hey, I'm talking about it on TV tonight anyways for way more people. But I
don't know about that, Doug. Okay, we have a lot of people listening to this radio program.
You're right. Sorry. But my old band in college was Itchy McGurk. And we were playing at Cayucas Tavern, and my wife's friends were all in to come to see the band play, and she was kind of like, whatever, I don't need to go see them. And then they came and saw us, and then I saw her, and I was like, wow. And then, fast forward a few years, and she finally actually...
You made her a groupie?
She actually, fast forward a few years, and she actually noticed me, so...
Let's go. You're just too normal to be on that show. It seems like most of the... were the other contestants, like, odd? Like, every time I watch the show, there's always... they always seem very odd.
You might be, like, in the top 5% of cool people. Yeah, like, you're in a band, so you have that cool factor. Most of the time, it's, like, librarian,
scientist
physicist.
Of some sort.
Yeah.
Well, I'm an engineer, too, so I use...
That's true.
I like to say I use 10% of both sides of my brain. But there's a thing, I think it's called, is it a Jeopardy babe, or it's hot for Jeopardy? Like somebody that's, they're really attractive for Jeopardy.
Right.
So I might be cool for Jeopardy, which is not really cool.
What about the other people that you met that were contestants?
They were really nice people. How's that? But they were great. But yeah, there were lots of college professors and writers, but they were all really, really nice people.
I checked out the champion that you're up against tonight.
Yeah.
Last night because I know you, so I wanted to see what you're up against.
Right.
And
she's tough.
You're up against some stiff competition. She's pretty good.
Yeah, we were on the shuttle bus. We all kind of stayed at the same hotel, and we were on the shuttle bus over to there. And she was pretty silent, and so I started after the first game. I'm like, the silent assassin. But she reminds me of Velma from Scooby Doo. She's the one that said that. She reminded me of what's her name from Big Bang Theory? What's his name? Howard's wife.
I don't know. We don't watch the show.
We both don't watch the show because we're not engineers.
Yeah, there you go.
See, I guess we just don't get it.
Probably don't get it.
We don't get the humor because we're just dumb.
Do you get the double entendre of the title?
What's JD Project doing?
We're playing a wedding that nobody else that's listening is invited to this weekend, but it's a lot of fun.
Anything else?
We're playing up at the fair.
You sure you don't want us to crash the wedding?
Yeah, sure. I'd be fine with it. We're playing up at the fair. We got a guy playing before us, or a guy playing right after us, but he's kind of post-opening for us. He's closing the show for us. His name's Garth Brooks, but it's on the same day.
You played Thursday, huh?
You're doing Garth Brooks night.
Yeah.
Wait, but
where are you playing at?
He's doing our night.
Where are you playing at in the fair?
We're playing at the Island Bar and Grill.
Oh, right in the middle. That's called the S Show.
Yeah. Oh, wait, that's Matt's doing Kid Rock. And he came on here the other day and he said, I'm opening for Kid Rock. And I'm like, wait a minute, you're not opening for Kid Rock. Do you tell people that you're opening for Garth Brooks? I mean, because technically you can say that a little bit.
Sure. It might go on our bio.
Yeah. Why not?
We opened for Kid Rock.
In 1 week, you were a contestant on Jeopardy and opened for Garth Brooks in the span of a week.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big week for you, Doug.
That's a pretty good week.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, catch the show tonight. It's 7 o'clock, and then you can see JD Project coming up on Thursday.
God, that's going to be awesome. I mean, are you guys going to be like sandwiched in like sardines trying to play your instruments? Because with Matt, it's just Matt. It's just Matt and a guitar. And I think
they've opened that whole area up. It's huge.
Pat's going with them, but the people that are going to be there for Garth Brooks.
But I haven't seen the place, so
yeah,
Jeremy, you've seen it. Does it look like there's room?
You'll have plenty of room. There's a stage there now. They changed that whole. Remember how it was just kind of thrown together walls, like Hobo City or something when you went through the Midway? Now they actually built structures. They have full on construction ceilings, and it's a kind of a big open area that is covered. And there's a huge bar that's in there, and then the stage and all that. So,
wow.
Yeah,
you guys should just do a set of
all Garth Brooks.
Yeah, all Garth Brooks.
And you might know this one. It's called The Dance.
It's not like we haven't talked about it.
It's like there's that guy who's in here for the Cider Festival, the guy that works for Stacy at Solterra.
Oh yeah, Mike.
Mike, he used to do he used to produce a show for this guy on an NPR station in like Jersey or something like that. And the guy is a musician, and he's actually kind of famous. I forget what his name is. I wrote it down and I totally forget. But he opened for Don McCain at Madison Square Garden and played American.
Did he really? Oh, wow. Wow.
And Don McCain was pissed.
Oh, I'm
And
sure.
the guy ended up becoming a writer for David Letterman because he played Don McCain's American Pie when he opened up for Don McCain.
Wow.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
So OJ is in, was it Lovelock, Nevada? That's where the prison is. He's getting paroled today, possibly.
50 minutes to freedom is what we're dubbing this segment.
At 10 o'clock, they're going to do the parole hearing, and it's going to be live. I've got CBS N up and kind of tracking what they've been doing there. We found out 6 motels in this little town of 2,700, 3 of them that are worth a damn, from what we understand from Trivago.
Trivago. Well, I don't know if 3 of them are worth a damn. That's just the ones that are listed on Trivago.
Yeah.
I don't want to slight the other 3 hotels just because of their lack of representation on Trivago, okay?
So, anyways, we're sitting here talking about it and all the interesting factors that come into it, but to think that people could bet on this, I guess it makes a lot of sense.
You can't.
So you can get action on this.
Yeah, there's no sports book that you can walk up to a window in the state of Nevada and get any action on this. But Bovada, which operates online, Bovada LV, Bovada.lv, because they are a betting website, they are giving him a... They think that he will get granted parole. In fact, if you bet... in order to win $100, you have to bet $300. So it's 3-1.
Okay. So the money to make is if to bet that he won't get released or they won't get
if you
paroled.
want it, and he's only a 2-1 underdog in that one. So meaning that if you bet $100 and he does not get released, you'll only win $200. So Bovada, now they operate with...
It's not very good action.
No, it's not good action because they operate online. And if you're betting online, and I've always said this.
You've got a problem?
Yeah, you're a degenerate gambler, okay? If you are running to bet online and you don't, have a guy or... You're not going to get the best odds online because they know that you are desperate to gamble. And if you're betting on this, isn't that the most desperate action that you've ever taken? Like, I was talking to a friend who actually, he fields some bets. He lives in a different state, so I don't have to worry about the feds cracking down on me. But he fields some bets. And he's got a guy, okay, that bets on WNBA games.
Oh, wow.
But the problem is, he kills it at WNBA games because he pays closer attention to it than Vegas does, because Vegas sees it as WNBA.
So he sees an opportunity here.
It's not Conor McGregor.
Right.
Nobody bets on WNBA, so they don't pay that much attention to it. So if he can pay a little bit more attention to what's going on in the WNBA and notice that, okay, this point spread does not make sense. It's kind of like that early season action in college football when Alabama plays like Chattanooga and the line is like 44 and you're like, well, you stay away from it because you don't know what Alabama is if it's the first game out the gate. But there are certain ones that a little bit more if you're close to the program. You know that Alabama's going to blow out Chattanooga by 60. just to send a message, then you probably could bet on it if you're a Roll Tide fan. But this guy does the same thing with WNBA. The difference being is Vegas pays attention to Alabama football. Vegas doesn't pay attention to WNBA. So the guy is seen as a degenerate gambler because he's betting on WNBA, but really he's smart because he's winning all these WNBA games because Vegas doesn't care about the lines. They just have to publish them.
He's the guy that walks into the room and you're talking about, I don't know, anything.
I learned a lot
and
about
he starts
gambling.
dropping WNBA references.
I literally learned a lot about gambling, and it's like don't gamble on McGregor and Mayweather. Don't gamble on the Super Bowl. Don't gamble on playoff games. Find a sport that nobody cares about. Get interested in it. Get involved in it. And find out what's shaking in that sport, and then you'll have a better understanding than the bookies do. You can make money on it.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. 93.3 KZOZ rocks.
Things we didn't get to in hashtag form with Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
New numbers show wait times for rides at Disneyland have skyrocketed since the amusement park raised prices. That's not right.
Yeah.
If you raise prices, surely fewer people go, so lines get shorter. That's
what's
the
going
theory.
on. It's a 28% increase in wait times. 24 minutes you're going to wait on average for a ride. Space Mountain is the worst. It's about more than an hour. It's 65 minutes. That's up from 48 minutes in 2015. So what do you do here?
What the hell? Who cares?
It went up 17. I care. It went up 17 minutes in 2 years after they raised the prices. After they raised the prices to get in, you think that would keep people out?
More people are going in. That's why they raise the prices. They're like, look at all these people. We get more people to go.
Does Disneyland have that club dynamic to it? Like, you know, the cool club that everybody wants to go to? Remember that place that's now Luna Red, which is thriving, but what it was before was like Native, it was called? Or
yeah,
something
the
like
nightclub, or whatever.
And they would keep a big line outside. And then you were like, if you got in early on in that line and you got into the place, you're like, all right, this place would be packed, and there'd be like 5 people in there because they wanted the line.
But they want everything to be perceived as it was really
like Disneyland is the only place you could go. I went to Knott's Berry Farm a year ago, a little over a year ago.
Better wet ride.
Oh, way better wet ride.
That little wild river ride, yeah.
Roller coasters for like teenagers and stuff like that. But I was talking to the guy about their passes, and the guy said that they have a pass, and I think it was for under $400. This is a season pass, okay? For under $400 that included food. Okay, you got food with it. You know what the cheapest pass is for Southern California residents for
Southern
California residents for Disneyland? They offer passes for Southern California residents.
I have no idea.
It's like the cheapest one, and this is Monday through Thursday. You can go Monday through Thursday. That's it. And it's like, I think it's $600. And it's bare bones. No parking involved. No
is
parking
that the one your wife
included.
has?
My wife has the $800 one because we have to have weekends included on it too. But some weekends are blocked out. The Knott's Berry Farm one comes with zero attachments to it. Like, there's no restrictions whatsoever. You go in there, you're like, hey, give me some pizza. You grab your piece of pizza, walk in there like it's Kingpin. You grab your piece of pizza from the guy, you eat the piece of pizza.
What they need is more theme parks then.
A cooler roller coaster. I just don't understand the Disneyland dynamic.
Has Disneyland changed much in 10 years? I was there about 10 years ago.
No,
do I need to go back?
I don't think so.
Okay, well then there's no reason to go back. But I mean, I don't have kids. I know you got to take your kids, right? But God, we grew up without Disneyland. I got to go when I was 9 for the... No, that's not true. I think I went when I was like 5, and then I went back when I was 9. That was, 5 was almost too young.
It's just insane to me. And then in comparison, Knott's Berry Farm is giving it away to Disneyland, and their wait times are a lot less.
Well, they don't have the mouse that all the kids love. You know what I mean?
They have Snoopy and Charlie Brown. And my wife, if I ever bring it up as an option, like an alternative, she's like, no, it's ghetto. And to her credit, okay.
Does your wife have to fly first class? Or is that ghetto too? No. If you don't fly first class?
No, we drive, remember? To her credit, and to support her argument, the garbage cans and the litter are an issue at Knott's Berry Farm. Like their garbage cans were overrunning. They had sticky stuff on the outside of them. And you didn't want to go anywhere near them.
So that's definitely worth an extra couple $100.
Right, but that's the only difference.
Hashtag new flavors. Lay's every year about this time announces new stuff. They did dill pickle. They did biscuits and gravy before. I know they did a sour, what do they do? A Reuben sandwich potato chip. These are the new ones. Are you ready? You can get crispy taco. So why'd you have to play that sound effect?
What?
Crispy taco. You can get the everything bagel with cream cheese Lay's potato chips.
I want to try that one.
If
These zany flavors, I just want to try them because you never experienced that before. You know, you're like, well, okay, what's this all about?
And then they have the fried.
How close is it to a bagel, an everything bagel with cream cheese?
Fried green tomato, which that's not something that you see.
What the hell?
Around here. I've had one of those before. They're not terrible, but I don't know.
In potato chip form, you've had
Yeah.
it?
What about crispy taco? So they made what? They put taco seasoning on a potato chip?
If I'm Doritos, I'm like, hey, we already do that. We put it on a tortilla chip the way it's supposed to be done.
Right.
Stay off of our ground, Lays.
I'm trying to think. God, I know they could do something better than, crispy taco.
Well, maybe they've ran out of zany flavors.
Fried green tomato. What about like some?
Jesus Christ!
Yeah. How about crispy enchilada? How about let's get weird.
Is that
no?
Is that one of them, or is
No.
that just one of your suggestions?
That's my suggestion. Yeah. Don't do taco. Do like an enchilada.
How about maple donut hamburger or bacon burger? Go all fair route.
Yeah, they did the bacon and waffle or chicken and waffles.
Don't get strange.
Chicken and waffles 2 years ago. Yeah, so that's what I need to have at the fair today, huh?
I don't know if you need to have
a little donut hamburger.
I would say, if I was your physician, I would say you don't need to have that.
Well, sure. Nobody needs anything. As long as it's all done in moderation.
Another day, another beer.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. Listen online at kzoz.com.
So tomorrow we're going to be giving away tickets to the front row of the Kid Rock. And story came out this morning. Last week there was that whole talk of him running for Senate in the state of Michigan. He was going to run against the incumbent because he says, he's not your typical politician. It's kind of the same platform that Donald Trump ran on and successfully became the president of the United States of America. So maybe there is something behind this whole Kid Rock running for the Senate in Michigan. It's the Pimp of the Nation.
The Pimp of the Nation tour?
Yeah. He's running for Senate as Pimp of the Nation with promises to rock the party and bring the party to the people. He's seeking the Republican nomination to face Debbie Stabenow. And the merchandise has come out for this, okay, for the campaign. Now, you tell me, based on these price tags, whether or not this is really for good and to rock the party and bring the party to the people as the Pimp of the Nation, or if this is just a chance to make some money. Because keep in mind, he has not filed his paperwork yet, okay? He's not filed his paperwork that says he's officially running. T-shirt for Rock the Party or Kid Rock for Senate. What do you think that T-shirt's going to run you?
Okay, you're straight out the trailer, right? I mean, it's got to be under $20. $19.95.
Wrong. You are wrong.
No, I don't want to be wrong. Really?
It's $24.99 for the T-shirt.
Okay, that's not great, but okay.
Bumper sticker.
$1.
Should be $1, right? Because you're actually...
It should be free, but...
actively campaigning for somebody for office. Most of the time, they're free when you go get one from your Republican headquarters, right? No, not when you're buying a Kid Rock for U.S. Senate sticker. It is 5 times that, sir.
Oh, it's $5, huh?
$4.99. Now, if you want a ball cap that says Kid Rock for Senate and a yard sign, how much is that going to run?
You're going to say a yard sale. Yard sale.
You'll be able. No, yard sales where you'll be able to buy it next year.
Okay, so this is a hat sign combo.
No, well, no. This is. Yes, this is for
$29.99.
both of them. No, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's not for both of them.
Wait, I'm gonna have to click through to find out. But the oh, it is for each. Okay, how much you think it is? $25.99?
No, $29.99 if they're a combo. But are they separate?
They're separate.
Oh, okay. Then I'm going to say the hat is probably $19.99, and the sign is $10.
$15.99 for both. So you would be right on the combo. You would be like in wheelhouse within a couple dollars on the combo, but $15.99 for both of them. My question is, are these going to be made available at the concert on Sunday night?
Oh, well, since we're not in Michigan, I don't think so.
But the website that it's on...
But people will have Kid Rock for Senate hats, I betcha. Or at least president or something like that.
The website that it's on is hosted by Warner Brothers Records, which is his label. Okay? So this is not a .org. This is not a .gov. This is not an official thing. This is like when you buy your Ted Nugent for president bumper sticker, right? It's a joke. It's a hoax. This is not real.
But people are buying, and this company's making money. So how do you do that if you don't have Kid Rock's permission, though?
Well, you have his permission, believe me, because he said, this is another way for me to sell T-shirts for $25 a pop. I'll do it.
It's time to play Know the Show with Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. KZOZ.
All right, we got the Kid Rock tickets. We're ready to go with that. We got a couple admission tickets for the fair. If you know the show today, 543-3693.
If you do not know the show today, your last chance to win tickets is hashtag KZOZ all summer long.
Get that video up.
Get that video up. You better start working on that video if you don't get in right now. And you'll win the front row tickets if your video is selected. That's on Facebook. Go to kzoz.com to find out the full instruction manual on that one. Today we just need to know what's the name of the, I'm going to loosely call it seafood restaurant that Jeremy, Jeff Stuhlberg, and myself, Jeff, the other Jeff, dearly miss in the Pacific Northwest.
They're not all the way gone. That's the good news.
Well, but it's like the buffalo.
Yeah.
We see them on the horizon.
Know the show and a couple of tickets to go to the California Mid-State Fair. We're also going to hook you up with some Kid Rock tickets. Ben, first one in today. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing pretty good.
Very nice. What was the name of the fish place?
Oh, man, you don't know it. We listened to the whole section and we just don't know it. We're hoping we could come up with it, but Long John's.
It's not Long John Silver's, sir. Sorry.
Thanks.
Goodbye, Ben.
We sorely miss it, but that would kind of make sense if you were guessing and you didn't know the show, because there are no Long John Silvers in the area. It's funny because there were no Long John Silvers in the area where we grew up, and because of this joint. This joint had the market on the Long John Silvers. Now I've noticed that they're creeping into the area where we grew up, which kind of stinks because that means the corporate train has replaced the regional guys.
Let's see here. Val, you're next. Hey, Val.
Morning.
What was the name of the fish place?
Skippers.
Skippers. Yeah. Fish and chips.
Make me want to
lick my lips.
Eat them for breakfast, lunch, and tea.
You know what?
Fish and chips are for me.
Lick my lips. I think we should cut it there. We have that all the time.
For breakfast, lunch, dinner, and tea?
I want to go have fish and chips today now. Are you hungry for fish and chips, Val?
Kids song.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, you start talking about fish and chips.
Where do you like to get the fish and chips on the Central Coast, Val?
Giovanni's.
Giovanni's. Everybody's always talking about Giovanni's.
Oh, my God. It's like...
I always get the fish tacos.
But that piece of fish that they give you is like this long.
It's local there, too, right? It's probably just local rock cod or something?
Foot.
Probably have options.
Oh, it's so good.
All right. Well, hey, congratulations. You were got a couple of tickets to go see Kid Rock. All right?
Okay.
And hold on the line. We'll get you some admission into the fair, too.
Well,
so tomorrow we got Kid Rock tickets out the Ying, right? You got Kid Rock tickets. We got the video. upload that video. If you haven't done it yet, it only takes a second. Just take a video of yourself listening to KZOZ. Show us the radio dial, whatever, and do whatever you want to do. Throw up your horns, scream and yell, swear at us.
You have to get permission from Gene Simmons to throw up the horns, though.
No, but he does that weird one with the thumb in.
And the court, I think you were out. I think you were in Mexico or Washington or somewhere.
Or the thumb out.
On your many vacations, the courts laughed at that, and he rescinded his copyright.
Oh, good. See, that's probably what he should have done.
But he got the publicity.
So make sure you do that video. Don't forget to use the hashtag KZOZ all summer long. All right. Another shot for you to qualify for that 805 grand prize package from Firestone Walker. And Matt will be in here with you, right?
Tomorrow, yes, because Jeremy's taking the day off because he's such
just
a big
the morning off.
Zach Brown Band fan.
It's going to be a hoot
ZBB
tonight.
You like the ZBB?
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.